I caught a glimpse of the televised debates that are going on in the UK between the three candidates for the Prime Minister position. I believe they're going to be holding their elections in a couple of weeks there. And it made me realize once again how far gone Britain is in terms of liberty as a concept that is present in politics. You have three candidates, one with Labour, one with the Conservative Party, and another, I think it's the Liberal Democrats. They are just different shades of the same shitty color. They are three statists that are arguing not for expanding liberty, not for curtailing the state. None of them are arguing for that. They're just arguing that they're going to be the best at administering the welfare state, the best at managing the ever-expanding statist agenda. It's unbelievable. It's disgusting and very sad. If you are a liberty-loving person, if you're inclined towards individual rights, you have nobody to represent you in the United Kingdom, and for that matter in Europe, anywhere in Europe, I don't think, with the possible exception of Switzerland. But I don't know enough about Switzerland to comment on that with any substance. So, but UK is gone. It's gone. It's gone. I remember, I think I told this anecdote already in one of my other videos, but I was in London on a business trip, and I was in my hotel room, and I turned on the TV, and there was a political talk show going on. So there was a head table, and they had the moderator, and they had a few other guys. One of them was representing Labour, another was with Tories, and another was one was a big union boss or something. And they had an audience full of people, and they were discussing bailouts. And people in the audience, none of them raised anything, any sort of issue, any sort of question about liberty or individual rights, limiting the scope and the power of government. Nothing like that. Nothing. Not even close. What they were discussing was, well, the state bailed out this particular company, but they didn't bail out that company. Why didn't they bail out that company? That was a good company. They should have bailed it out. And the guy, I think, the guy with the Labour Party was trying to explain that, they ran the numbers and it just didn't compute. It didn't make sense to give money to it was a losing proposition to give money to that particular company that the guy was asking about. No, we should. And another guy came to the microphone and said, hey, we should be more like France. In France, they kidnap their bosses. They lock their bosses in their offices. They handcuff them to the radiator or something, and they keep them there until their demands are met, until they get their raise or something. Unbelievable. They want to be more like that. You know what? Mark Stein is right. Mark Stein is right when he says, look at the world and look at what happened in the last financial crisis. Hordes of people took to the streets all across Europe, besieging government buildings and demanding that their governments do more for them, give them more money, things like that. In America, millions of people took to the streets to tell the government to get the fuck out of their way and to leave them alone. That, my friends, is significant. I am very saddened by what is happening politically in the United States. I mean, the U.S. is far from, being a true beacon of individual liberty. But even still, by contrast with the rest of the world, compared to the rest of the world, we've had it pretty darn good. But unfortunately, I think the sun is setting on this republic. We'll see. Well, we're going to have to see November 2010. We're going to have to see November 2012. We're going to have to see if enough people take their liberties seriously enough, if enough people are honest and honorable enough to vote the right people out, the wrong people out and the right people in. Right now, I'm not too optimistic. The screwed up thing about it is, where else do we go? I looked up an index of economic freedom. One of my commenters here on YouTube, thank you for that, by the way, left a link to the index of economic freedom. And I think we have countries like New Zealand and Australia ahead of the U.S. I think U.S. is in number 8 right now, in the 8th position. some radio host said, you know what? He was talking to a caller, conservative caller, and he said something to the effect that, well, do you think what if we get enough like-minded people together, maybe 250,000, something like that, and land somewhere in like New Zealand, you think we can take it over? Because I think that's the only option we have available right now.